Lights are counting down. The lights are out and we are away. Looks like a pretty decent start from Barlow and P2, although Tooman's got a fantastic launch off the line, and that is Jack Mull going backwards. And I think that's Jack Mull in the wall. Jack Mull is out, and Hypers is pretty much spun pretty much directly off the line. So that is Jack Mull and Hypers pretty much out of this race already. As further up the field, how are these drivers navigating Eau Rouge and Radion? Looks to be very few troubles there on the first lap at least, but it is still Tooman, Barlow, Leah at front. Zachas Beat has gained a place off the start, so that's a pretty decent effort from him. As further back as anything happened, it looks like Charlie's trying to defend from Panther, who's already gained 3 places from his starting spot. And Andrew's trying to get a position on Skullkiller as well. They're going to go wheel to wheel here. I'm looking at Skullkiller, and he just has to see the position as AWL, Kevin and Golden Egg Fryer are battling it out. But Kevin takes the position too. Further up ahead, Tooman's cleared a second on Barlow already. So a very good start from him, as now Panther is potentially trying to gain even more places as well. As Andrew's got past Golden Egg Fryer through Puon. They're going to go wheel to wheel though. Can Golden Egg Fryer hold the position, or will Andrew take it? Giving each other a lot of room. This is fair, respectful racing. This is what we like to see. As Golden Egg Fry's picked up a time penalty already. But yes, Andrew takes the position. A very strong start from him, although he goes quite deep, and Golden Egg Fryer retakes it. Ooh, that could have ended quite badly, but it is still not over, as Andrew is right on the back of Williams. This is for P9 as the 2 Alpine cars swap positions. But will Skullkiller potentially get involved as well? Will Andrew send it into the final chicane? Looks like he will. They bang wheels a little bit, but it's all clean, and Skullkiller nips up the inside as well. Andrew is still continuing. He still wants to get past. Are they going to potentially go side by side through Eau Rouge Radion? You saw Andrew get that bit of a wider karting line to try and get the best possible exit. But he is not close enough to go side by side here. And Golden Egg Fryer might have a bit of a better run through there, so maybe the position is safe. Although in saying that, Andrew looks to have a bit more straight line speed than Golden Egg Fryer. Going to nip it up the inside, is he? Oh, there's a bit of a terrible camera angle, but yes, he does. Up into P9. It's further ahead. We have Panther still trying to get past Charlie. I know Charlie isn't the biggest lover of the wet, but and at the moment it's kind of in a bit of a no man's land, as he's already lost a decent bit of time to the cars ahead of him. Although Panther has got to be wary of the cars behind, as Kevin is looking very racy as well. Kevin was quite quick in Q1, but of course misjudged it big time in Q2 and found himself out of the session for it. Likewise with Andrew, who's also made up position as well. Oh, as Panther thinks about the move on Charlie, but can't make it stick. Gets all sorts of out of shape. So it is Panther, Charlie, Kevin, all battling out, going through Blanchimont. Panther is going to have to look one way to attack and one way to defend. Is he going to send it up the inside of Charlie? Attack's probably the best form of defence here, but I think he's probably too far back for now, as Kevin slightly taps the rear end of Panther. But luckily they're both okay. As Charlie gets a little bit of a wiggle on out the final corner, and he's going to go wheel to wheel with Tooman here. No, with Panther, sorry. Can he hold it, or can Charlie fight back? Looking on board with Kevin, I think Panther has made the position stick and moves up into P6. Excellent start to the race for Panther. And it's an excellent start to the race to Ale too. And he's looking really racy here. He wants to get past Zach. But no, nothing doing. It's further back, Skullkiller, Golden Egg Fryer battling it out. They've made contact with each other, and Skullkiller is round. He's waiting on the side of the road to pick himself up and spin himself back round. But yeah, he was fighting for the last points position with Golden Egg Fryer, but they did make contact, and that's all she wrote in terms of Skull Killer. Oh, as DRS has been enabled. As Hypers has gone onto the medium, so I'm going to just quickly switch to tyre choice. And is it already time? Is it already time for the dries? It doesn't look like it. Could we see everyone in there already? Oh, as Kevin's got past Charlie now, but although Jack Mull is on the dries and he has binned it in Eau Rouge, so maybe not yet. But the DRS being enabled usually means that it is. So it'll be interesting to see, what do these drivers up front do? Tooman is going to pit, as is Barlow. Oh, as Barlow has binned it on pit entry. He's, from that P2 spot, he has gone all the way round and has lost so much time here. He's going to rejoin the pits even behind his teammate. Oh, as Hypers has lost it as well. Is that a safety car? I can't tell, I can't see. It's not telling me. It's either a safety car or a VSC. No, it's a full safety car. It is a full safety car. And that has saved Panther and Charlie, who have gone long as well. Because they are going to be able to get a free pit stop here. And look at the different choices of tyres. Andrew's gone with the... We've got Kevin's gone for the intermediate tyres. That's definitely a bit of a mistake by the game's part. We've got a real mixture. I mean, a safety car is out, so I can confirm that, even though it's not saying it after Hypers has crashed. But yes, we've got a real mix of tyre compounds. Tooman's obviously going for the one-stop strategy from here, but Leah behind him has gone for the mediums. And Leah will be able to take those tyres to the end of the race if he goes for the mediums. So, has Tooman perhaps made a bit of a blunder here? And are Leah and Zach's Beast really now the favourites for this race? As Tooman, Ale, Kevin, Blaine, Alpe, Drastic Blaze are all going to have to pit again. And, well, with Panther, Charlie and that serving their pit stops under a full safety car rather than just half of their stop taking place under the safety car, where are they going to feed into this as well? This is chaos at the moment with this safety car. It's a bit annoying that the game is not telling me that it's a safety car, but I don't know whether I can do anything with the settings to fiddle with the on-screen display. Let's have a look. As Panther, Charlie, Golden Egg Fryer are obviously going to pit now, as is OG James, as is Hicklin. Let's see what tyres they go for. It's really a no-brainer for me. You have to go in mediums. You have to go mediums here because they're going to make it to the end of the race. Oh, as Panther goes softs, as does Charlie. Golden Egg Fryer is going to go for the mediums here, so... And I think that is going to be the right call for him. And has he gained any places as well with that timing of that pit stop? Oh, he's lost one to Blaine, actually, so maybe not, although it remains to see. But wow, I mean, I have to think we have a hell of a rest of the race on now, as Tooman I can see is absolutely just revving the ever-living daylight out of his engine to try and burn some fuel. Yes, we have a real mix of drivers on softs, on mediums, on hards. Well, Andrew's the only driver on hards. He is going to be good very near the end of the race, is Andrew. That is one thing. However, he's going to be very slow initially. But will definitely make it to the end, so could potentially be on for a good result. But if I'm being real here, you say McLaren 1-3, Owen, but they're going to both have to pit again. Personally, I think Leah is in the strongest position here, as he is on the mediums, and they will easily go to the end from here. as Jack Mull has been disqualified for accumulating too many penalties. Let's see how many he got. Jack Mull. He said he only got 2, so I don't know. It's a bit weird. He got a warning on the first lap. He got another couple of warnings, 3 seconds and a 10-second. Then, what? How did he get that many 10-second penalties in one go? He got 3 10-second penalties in the same lap. And he also got disqualified and then received terminal damage. So, yeah, a very disaster of a race for Jack Mull. As Owen, we are on lap 5 here, and the safety car is going to stay out for another lap. So I think those guys on mediums are going to be completely fine. I think Tuman and Panther now, if they want to have a chance of winning this race, they've got to... Well, firstly, Panther needs to get ahead of Tuman. Panther needs to get ahead of Leah, sorry. And then if he does that, him and Tuman simply just need to work together to get as big of a gap as possible. And yeah, I think his AI must have crashed, Nicky. I think that's the only explanation. He got disqualified and his AI might have just bulldozed into somebody near the back of the field. That wouldn't surprise me with this game. As someone's asking the question of has Jack been finessed again? That is Jack Mull, not SLR Jack. I'm being stupid. But yeah, it appears that Jack Mull has been finessed again by the game. That is fantastic. And another driver that got finessed is Kevin, who had to make 2 pit stops under that safety car because he was on the intermediate tyres. So he's going to be well down, but looking at the number of people on these tyres that are going to the end of the race, the likes of Tuman are going to have to do an awful lot of overtaking as well, as Drastic Blaze picks up a time penalty whilst trying to catch up to the field. So, bit of a waste of a couple of warnings there, as he will catch up by the end of this lap, and the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. But yes, Drastic Blaze already picks up 6 seconds, and Golden Egg Fry is the only other driver with a penalty. It's actually not that hard to do Spa kind of warningless and not pick up too many warnings because, well, last game you had to absolutely mount a load of curbs to gain time, but here, if you take those curbs, then, well, you're a bit screwed, really. Oh, as Barlow and Charlie, the 2 Aston Martins, have come together under the safety car. That's strong words to each other in their party, maybe? Potentially. Charlie is definitely going to have to pit again, so he's going to definitely be at a disadvantage with those softs. But Barlow might be able to get his removed if it wasn't his fault. As yeah, safety car is now coming in. So it's all about Tuman. Can he gain this time on the softs? And is this bit of a risky strategy? Perhaps with the anticipation that there is going to be another safety car going to work for him. I feel like when he pitted, he would have felt that the mediums wouldn't have made it to the end from then, but with this safety car they now will. So Tuman now has to do a mammoth job here. He just has to absolutely bolt it and go. Get as many seconds on Leah as he can as soon as possible. And that is what he is doing. He is away, is ARL Tuman. And he's already got 9/10 just before the line. Leah's going to be struggling with these conditions as Barlow has entered the pits. I wonder if he's got damage from the collision with Charlie. That must be the only explanation for that, but here we go. Tuman, he's pulled a second already and he's absolutely gunning it. But further back, Ale is maybe thinking about a move on Panther. Ale's been looking quite quick all race. Oh, as Panther has gone off. Panther has gone off. Eau Rouge and Radion smashed into the wall. I don't know how he's not lost his entire car there, but he has got damage nonetheless. As Charlie and Andrew are battling it out. Andrew, remember, is on those hard compound tyres. But him and Charlie giving each other a decent bit of room. And Charlie's got the position. But yeah, disaster for Panther. yes, as Owen yelps out a big, massive no as Panther, of course, had his crash. But he's not out of this race yet somehow, so it's not all bad. And looking at this, looking at the gap that Puman's created, that's exactly what I said he needed to do. Oh, as Leah has gone, Leah has lost his wing. I don't know whether he made contact with Ale, but Leah has lost his front wing on those medium tyres, so now that opens it up to Zach's beast. Leah's going to have to peel into the pits. He goes well off the track to try and let Zach go, but it's all going on here. These drivers are making so many mistakes. There's so much contact, and Leah goes quite deep there and ends up in the pits, but wow, now suddenly DRT Andrews up in P4 as well on those hard tyres, and they'll definitely make the end, but Tuman's already got 5 of the seconds that he needed on the nearest driver on the one-stop strategy. Oh, as Charlie and Andrew, Charlie thinking about it through Eau Rouge and Radion. Andrew's on those hards, remember, and could potentially use Charlie getting past him to potentially gain a bit of time on him. Although he is going to go up the inside now. They're going to battle it out yet again. Can Charlie get that move stick this time? Yes, he can. As further back, Alpe's made a move on Blaine as well. Very nice. But wow, that's an interesting start to this race. As Massey has commented, wish people would stop starting making mistakes. Wish people would stop making mistakes in front of Zach. And yes, I can see your frustration as now Zach is the lead medium runner, but he is already 6 seconds behind Tuman. So I think Tuman can still do this, you know. He's got to absolutely gun it, as I said, but you have a look at his fastest lap of a 45.6. That is what he's doing. It's quite a quick fastest lap, actually. As his yellow flag is set to 3, someone has gone. Who is that? That is the Williams of Golden Egg Fryer. He has spun it. Has he got damage? I don't know. I don't think he has, but he's lost it at Stavolo. Maybe he's potentially lost, just got on the power too early, maybe, or something, but yeah, he has lost the car and has lost the position to Jack. As now Charlie has closed in a bit on Zach's beast, and Charlie's really got to make this time up, and you know what, that as Owen said, Tuman should pit like 10. No, I disagree. I think Tuman should pit enough. Tuman should pit kind of as late as possible, really, because if he pits now, he'll drop down to 15th place. So I personally think that Tuman should leave it until about lap 14 or 15 or so. Do double soft and then just be flying to the end of the race. Although, of course, it depends on Zach's mediums and whether his mediums are going to end up being faster than Tuman's softs in a few laps. Yeah, this race is not over, and this is certainly going to come alive in the last few laps of this race. As there's a yellow flag once again, and that is Drastic Blaze has gone round. I think he was battling it out with Golden Egg Fryer, and the two of them might have come to blows. As Drastic Blaze does luckily get out of the way of Leah. Of course, Leah has made that pit stop after losing his wing. Oh, as Drastic Blaze is now officially out, and the safety car has been deployed again. Well. Charlie is reacted to that pretty much instantly. And Tuman is very lucky here because he just gets out in front of the safety car. But yes, a whole gaggle of cars are now in the pit lane. That's kind of potentially killed the strategic element of this race because well, that's going to allow the likes of Tuman and Ale to close right back up. So it almost forces the likes of Zach to pit. and get rid of those medium tyres, but yes, safety car has been deployed. And yes, I do believe Toomey will be boxing lap 10, Owen. I think you're right with that one now. I think logically you've probably gone to the mediums now. All's Golden Egg Fryer is disconnected. That's not great, but he should be able to get back in. But yes, now Panther is going to be able to catch up to the pack. Everyone's going to be able to catch up to the pack. As Golden Egg Fryer's got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag, even though he was disconnected. Cheers, Cody's. That's fantastic. But anyway, what are these drivers near the front going to do? I feel like Toomey and Ale, it's a no-brainer here for them. I think they should box for either the softs if they're feeling risky, although the mediums are probably your best bet, the mediums. Comfortably go to the end, be quickest near the end of the race. Although a fresh set of softs may make it the end from here. As yes, Toomey does go into the pits, and I expect Ale to follow suit. Just about what Zach does here. Does he go for the track position here, or does he go for the pit stop? No, Zach's gone for the track position. As Toomey and Ale are going on to the mediums, as expected. As Kevin, after I said he got shafted a bit in this race, is he going to claim P2 here at the moment? Or is Toomey going to just nip out ahead of him? It's going to be tight. As no, Toomey just gets ahead of Kevin, and that's worked out perfectly for him, as he's now into P2. So, I have to say, he's kind of been nice by this safety car a tad, but you make your own luck. He's been dominant all race, and yes, I don't expect him to have a relatively easy move on Zach, but it'll be really interesting here to see, can Zach hold the positions on the cars behind? Ale, despite being only 3 or so seconds behind Toomey when he came into the pits, well, he's dropped from 4 or 5 places behind him. So he's got to get past Skullkiller, Hicklin, Jack, and Kevin before catching up to Toomey, and of course up to get past Zach as well, who's on those older mediums. So it's going to be quite difficult for him. And I respect the commitment of Alpay trying to make these softs last to the end, likewise with Leah. They're going to be very, very, very warm. But should make the end of the race. As Golden Egg Fryer still has not got back in, so it's not great, but hopefully he can try and back. And looking at this, I believe, if I go on board with Leah, I believe he's doing a me from yesterday. The safety car might come in this lap if Leah catches up now. But if he hangs back enough, then the safety car could come in the next lap as Leah... No, Leah has caught up, so... As here we are, Zach's Beast is now getting ready to take this field away. It's now just a game of patience with Toomey, really. Oh, as he nearly hits the back end of Zach. And he wants to get the move done already, though. Although Kevin is now going to be right beside him as well. We are away, and Toomey, in making that move, could he potentially be under threat from Kevin here? As further back, Hicklin is trying to make a move on Jack as well. But Toomey keeps position, and Hicklin has made the move on Jack, although they've made contact here. They're going to go side by side through Eau Rouge, I think. But no, Hicklin gets his elbows out and gets the position up into P4, the Mercedes driver. Doing very well as Hicklin. As up front, Zach's Speed using a decent bit of ZRS to try and defend from Toomey. Does Toomey have the grip to lunge it down the inside here? No, he doesn't. as Jack's now got back at... As Jack has now got back at Hicklin, and Andrew's got past Golden Egg Fry's AI. It's not causing too much havoc, so I guess that's a good news. That's further back. I think this is going to be the potential place for carnage, as Golden Egg Fry's AI, of course, is not going to be ghosted because ghosting is off. It's personally why I prefer ghosting on, but these drivers voted for ghosting off, and perhaps they quite enjoy battling at Golden Egg Fry's AI. Makes it less of a trivial exercise when someone disconnects, and gives someone who disconnects a chance to keep their positions. But now Charlie and Leah are making it past the AI. As up near the front, I think Tuman's making a move on Zach's Beast onto the final chicane. Yes, he is. He takes the lead. And I thought that was only a matter of time, really, with those fresher tyres. But if Zach can stay within Tuman's DRS, then could have a shot. Although I've just seen the McLaren drivers picked up a penalty. I completely missed that, but Tuman has a 3-second time penalty, so he's got to absolutely bolt from this DRS here. And if Zach can stay within the DRS, then, well, this could potentially still be on for him if he stays penalty free. As looking further down, another soft run of Alpe's making up some moves, going around the outside of OG James, is he? Oh, that's a very tidy move. OG James gives him quite a lot of room. As Leah sweeps around the outside as well and claims position 2. Very nice move from Leah. As Ale actually got passed by Andrew as well, so Andrew's looking pretty good here. Could be on for a podium here if he makes up these places. As Tuman has now broken that second, and Skullkiller has been passed by Andrew. This is the yellow flag and set to 2 here. Who is that? That is SLR Leah. SLR Leah is round. SLR Leah has spun and has dropped down to last. And those softs are going to be very, very hot. As Ale's now made a move on Skullkiller as well. This is another yellow flag as Leah has gone off again, presumably with those hot tyres. DRS has now been enabled here. So Zach's Beast is maybe going to have to look behind rather than ahead at Tuman. I think Tuman should have this under control here. This 3-second gap. With those older tyres. Of course, for Zach, Kevin, Jack and Hicklin. But can AWRL Kevin say something potentially about getting past Zach? I don't think he's close enough. But the driver who is definitely close enough is going to be Andrew on Hicklin, as Ale makes it past Hicklin as well. It's a double move. As Charlie gets past OG James on his newer tyres as well. So these guys with the newer tyres are gaining positions hand over fist here. It's been a very impressive race from Andrew, it must be said. I think Andrew could be on for a podium here if he gets his head down, keeps it out of penalties. As once again we go on board with Kevin. As he is going to try and make the move on Zach. He's going to go in the middle sector here. He is, and I think he spun him. Zach is round. That was a very aggressive move by Kevin, and Zach's Beast has dropped down to nearly out of the points here, and with those older tyres, with those overheated tyres as well, that is a big one and a big moment for Zach's Beast, and quite a crucial one potentially in the championship tail as well. Kevin, he was quite aggressive with Zach and may have turned in on him a bit, but I think that is definitely one for the stewards. But Kevin still gains the position. And now Andrew, I said he could be on for a podium here, and But he could potentially get that position almost immediately as he's now right up behind Jack. He's going to have to look at his mirrors of Ale, and he's got to be a bit wary here, so he's got to get the move done on Jack as soon as possible. DRS here, Jack is using a bit to defend. And it should be a pretty relatively straightforward move for Andrew. As he gets a position and Jack can't make that move stick. And Ale can't make that move stick initially as well. And so has to stick behind Jack for a bit. But Ale's going to potentially send it in here. Is he? No, he's going to be patient. And now, speaking of Andrew, he's already pulled that second on Jack and is now looking at Kevin himself. Oh, as Leah has retired, Eau Rouge. Is that going to be another safety car? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Another twist in the tail in this race. We have 3 safety cars like we had last night in Division 2. And what do these drivers do? Does Tooman pit? Does he stay out? What do all these drivers do? Really difficult choice here, especially for those who are on older tyres. Tooman is coming into the pits, as is Kevin. If I'm Andrew, I personally stay out. Jack's staying out. Hicklin's in, Skullkiller's in. Charlie's staying out. Go on, Charlie, yes. Like a bit of a risk. But so many drivers are going in, though. And so Jack and Charlie are now 1 and 2, so sure. And Tooman's gone for another set of mediums here as well, so it's a bit odd, as Barlow stayed out as well and has come out behind Tooman, so wowee, this is certainly spiced things up. We have Jack and Charlie who are 1 and 2, but they are on older tyres, as is Barlow, who's elected to stay out and gone P4. And I mean, well, Barlow, I think that's a bit of a genius move from Barlow, and from Blaine as well here, because the pair of them are, well, the pair of them were way down the field, and if they'd have just mirrored what everyone else was doing, then, well, they wouldn't have really gained any, they just wouldn't have, they'd just stayed where they were, they'd have just stayed completely out of the points. But now Barlow, he is on older medium tyres, but he's given himself a fighting chance to get some points here. As all these drivers have flooded into the pits, he stayed out and has taken that track position. And one thing you should note at Spa is it's a long lap, so there's very, very few laps remaining, actually. We are on lap 16. The safety car is not going to come in until lap 17 at the earliest. And then lap 18, 19 and 20 will be completed without DRS. Actually, I think DRS might be enabled on lap 20. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, my point is, we're going to have several laps here without DRS, so it's going to be very tricky to overtake here. Everyone is going to have the same tools initially, and it's going to just have to be moves on the brakes, things like that. We've seen Tooman's been quite good with that. But I mean, if you're being realistic, Barlow could quite easily keep these positions. He could quite easily keep a lot of these positions. So it's a very decent gamble from the Aston Martin driver. But yes, now a very, very spicy end to the race incoming. Let's have a look at penalties to see how that's going to affect things. Of course, Tooman, Kevin, Skullkiller, Hicklin, Panther, OG James and Golden Egg Fryer have 3-second penalties. So those drivers that have to make the moves, especially the likes of Skullkiller and Hicklin, who are way down, who have penalties, well, they're going to have to make the moves and then bolt. Going to have to absolutely bolt it. And one thing here that could be interesting, if Tooman gets stuck behind Jack, Charlie gets ahead of Jack with his newer tyres. Charlie is in with a real shot here. He could get a second or so on Tooman, potentially in the first couple of laps, once the safety car comes in. And And then, well, we'll have to see. And another thing to note, of course, is that Toomans on the mediums, the likes of Kevin, who have also boxed, and Andrew, they're on the softs. So their tyres are going to be faster initially. So, well, what I'm saying is the driver who was pretty much dominant, who's been pretty much dominant all race, Aero Tooman, it's going to be quite difficult for him to convert this into a victory. He's certainly not having it his own way with all these safety cars. Safety car. Safety car is still out here. But I do expect it to be coming in at the end of this lap. And we can get going. Only a handful of laps remaining. And can SLR Jack hold on? Can SLR Charlie hold on? Can Barlow get up there himself? Can he hold on? And what will these soft runners be able to do? Jack is warming up his tyres now, getting ready for the restart. And this is going to be an absolute grandstand finish here. At some point Jack is going to go. He has not gone yet. As I assume he's going to go exit this final corner now. Yes, he is. And Charlie follows. As look at this, Tooman's already potentially going to get past Charlie into turn one. That is something that could happen. Tooman kind of caught Charlie napping a little bit there and has got the place as further back. AWRL Kevin has made a position as well. As Tooman has already taken the lead here. He's got past Jack already. It's absolutely crucial for this race as Jack picks up a penalty himself as well. And now Charlie, to defend from the cars behind, has now just got to absolutely rinse his battery. Try and get past Jack if he can. Jack is on those far older tyres. Although Charlie likes to keep the position. Is now down the inside of Barlow as Barlow's falling backwards a little bit, but is still running in a good position here. And now Kevin is going to try it on Charlie. Kevin, of course, has his time penalty, so needs to make these moves and needs to make them quick. He's going to try it on Jack as well, but he's made contact with him and Kevin has spun. So that then moves Charlie back up and now leaves Andrew as the lead soft runner. And Andrew, he's going to have so much more grip than Charlie here, but he's just got to kind of just pick his moment, really. As Tooman's already opened up a pretty massive gap already at the front. But it's absolute frenetic stuff behind. As Andrew now, yeah. He knows what he needs to do. Charlie is making his car as wide as possible. As there's yellow flag there, and that is OG James, I believe, round. Oh, Skull Killer's going past Barlow as well. That risk for Barlow, he's absolutely plummeted to down the field. The risk was definitely worth it, but it is not working out for him. He's dropped down to P8. And Andrew takes the position as well. And he's got to get past Jack, I think, now. End of the Kemmel straight is when Jack has got is when Andrew's got to get past Jack, so he can stay within this 3 seconds of Tooman. He can still win this race, Andrew, sorry, but here we are. He needs to just absolutely rinse his battery, and well, he's going to have far better tyres than Jack, so he could potentially outbrake him here, but wow, this is going to be a fascinating end to this race. As here we are, Andrew, he's sent it on Jack here. And he's made the move stick. What a great move that is from Andrew, as he has now got ahead of him and is 2 seconds behind Tooman and doesn't have a penalty. As Ale is now making the move on Charlie, and Ale's got the position as well, but wow, Tooman, that medium tyre, could that be a bit of a blunder? Has the game accidentally put him on mediums? And can Andrew keep the position on him? Could it be a victory for Andrew, or is Tooman going to pull out that 3 seconds? As now we have Ale trying to make the move on Jack. And Jackie's done very, very well to keep these positions. Of course, that was that incident with Kevin, which might go to the stewards, but we'll have to see. But Jack is still holding on quite nicely for P3 here. And Andrew is still staying within the 3-second margin that he needs to on Tooman. But I feel like Jack is potentially going to get done here by Ale. He's got to be patient here. It should be quite an easy move once he has DRS. As here we go. As Massey said, could be Andrew, Ale, Alpe podium. All depends what their soft pace is like compared to Tooman. They've got to get past Jack quite quickly. As there we are. Ale has made the move stick. Moves up into P3. Needs to gain half a second if he wants to finish ahead of Tooman. And needs to close in by a few seconds on Andrew if he wants that position on him as well. Great move by Ale Noahs. Let's get up the position changes here. And Andrew is up 10 after qualifying P12 with that dry to wet Q2. That's who's going to potentially be the next person to make a move. Well, Charlie obviously is on much fresher tyres than Jack. He hasn't been able to get past him yet. Could this now be his chance now Jack's lost DRS? He is just 4 tenths behind the Alpine driver. And here we go, Charlie. This will be his best result yet if he can keep this position on Alpe. And speaking of Alpe, he's going to potentially have to look behind him as Skullkiller was thinking about making a move here. The Skullkiller can't make it stick. And now Charlie, is he going to go early on Jack, or is he going to wait until the next straight? Oh, I'm not sure. Skullkiller thinks about the move on Alpe into turn 1, though, that's for sure. But here we are. Jack is creating an absolute train here. Can Charlie make the move on him? Skullkiller picks up another penalty that's going to hinder his race. But here we are. Charlie, Jack, Alpe could be going 3 wide here. I'm going to go on board with Alpe around the outside. Is he going to do the Hacken and Schumacher move? Is he going to make it round all the way to the outside? Yes, he is. What an unbelievable move by Alpe, completely out of nowhere. Just gets the position on Charlie as well, outbreaks them both and gets his way up into P4. And he could potentially have a shot at a podium still, Alpe. He is going to be within the DRS of Ale. If he stays like this, and he could get a shot on the final lap here. Needs to absolutely nail the middle sector here, but what a move by Alpe to get the position on Charlie as well. That was great stuff. As near the front of the field, DRT Andrew is at the moment staying within 3 seconds of Tooman. But his soft tyres will be overheating. Tooman's mediums will be looking good. As there's a yellow flag, and I think that's Panther. Panther has spun around and has dropped out of the points. But what a move. But what a move by Alpe indeed. He's used a bit of his battery and he's going to stay close to Ale as Tooman is going to start the final lap here. Tooman needs to gain 7 tenths on Andrew in this final lap if he wants to win this race. It could be doable. It could be. But they both have a lot of battery. And to the contrary, Alpe and Ale do not have a lot of battery for the final spot on the podium battle. Here we are. This is just going to be slipstream DRS. As Alpe, he managed to make that move. He managed to make that double move, which was absolutely crucial. Is he going to turn this into a move for the podium? Yes, he is. He is going to get past him, and that is pretty easy as Ale has completely run out of ERS. Alpine moves up into P3. It's an absolute sterling drive from him, as I'm going to now go on board with Andrew, because at the moment it looks like he's going to win this race over Tooman. The gap is 2.2 seconds here. There's a yellow flag, and I think that's Ale! That's Ale's gone! And he's lost his front wing. He was running in that podium, he was running in that P4 position. As Kevin has spun as well. Kevin has gone as well. All kinds of things are happening. This final lap is still not providing the end to the action. Kevin and Ale have had incidents that have spun. But anyway, let's go on board with Andrew, because I think he's going to be the race winner here. Tooman has pretty much led from start to finish, but has picked up a 3-second penalty. And so he's going to cross the line here to get victory on track. But I think it is going to be DRT Andrew. He won on his Division 3 debut, and he wins on his Division 2 debut. Alpe takes a brilliant podium, with Charlie getting his best result of the season in P4. Zach recovers to P5 with Jack in P6. With Skullkiller, Hicklin, Panther, AWRL, Kevin rounding out the points. Does Ale get a point after penalties? No, not quite. So that is it. DRT Andrew, ARL Tooman, and Alpe are your podium finishers. Well, what a race. As I think I realised I was going to invite them to the party to do the interviews, but I don't think the party audio is working. Oh, the audio's working on Andrew's stream, so... Oh, we can do that. Yeah, Andrew. If you don't mind, can you send me a link to your Twitch stream, and I'll do the interviews on there. So everyone tune into your Twitch stream to do the interviews. Party audio is not working for me, but it is for you. So... yeah, I mean... Yep. Party audio's not working for me, by the way. So, but Andrew's been streaming, and he'll be able to get the interviews on his channel. I've kind of improvised a bit. Oh wait! I just realised I'm following you on Twitch anyway, so I can do the. Cool. Yes. There we are, that. Oh, blimey, 1/100th of a second. But yes. Enjoy some free viewers, Andrew. Unfortunately, party audio is not working on the SLR stream, so I'm going to have to uninstall... No, we're here. Brilliant. This is an interesting party. This is a very interesting party. Oh, I see. But anyway, let's get on with the interviews. Anyway, um, people watching the SLR stream, I'll shut that off now. Thank you all for watching, and join us later on potentially for Div 3, and then of course tomorrow for the McEwen division. But yeah, well, I'm going to start off with P3, which is Alpe. Well, I have to say, you gave us so much entertainment in the last couple of laps. Hakkinen Schumacher S double move on the penultimate lap, and then a move on Ale on the final lap to claim a podium. So, how do you feel with that? That was certainly clutched that up firmly at the end to get the podium. How do you feel? Yes, indeed, and well, certainly was a